Welcome. In this playthrough Marvel Champions card game, we have Magneto teaming up with Nightcrawler to take on the Sentinels. So for our hero deck construction, we have Magneto here. He's got 2 for thwart, attack, and defense. Magnetic pull ability as an action. Discard cards from the top of your deck until a magnetic card is discarded. Add that card to your hand, limit once per round. Hand size of 5 and 10 hit points. Alter Ego, recovery of 3. Survivor as a response. After you change to this form, shuffle the top 3 cards of your discard pile into your deck in a hand size of 6. Got a few justice cards in here. A sense of justice, heroic intuition, and then 3 clear the areas and 3 multitasking. And then everything else is basic. So I've got 2 of the power in all of us. Then our 3 double basic resources. Angel, Beak, Forge, Triage, Professor X, Legion, and Marrow as our allies. And then we also have the X-Jet, X-Mansion, Utopia, Downtime, and Endurance. Then for Nightcrawler, he's got a thwart of 2, attack of 1, defense of 3, rapid teleportation. Has an action, spend a resource of any type. Return a copy of BAM from your discard pile to your hand, limit once per phase. Hand size of 5, hit points of 9. Alter Ego, recovery of 3. As an action, search your deck for a copy of BAMF and add it to your hand. Limit once per round. Hand size of 6 on that side. Then going with protection, we've got 2 of the power protection, 2 defensive energies. Then Polaris, Iceman, North Star, and armor. Then 3 anticipated attacks. 3 riposts. Then hard to ignore, a med team, unflappable, electrostatic armor. Dauntless, flow like water, and an armored vest. And then for basic cards, got our 3 double resources, endurance, downtime, and a deft focus. And then for a villain, the Sentinel, scheme of 2, attack of 2, comes in with toughness. When revealed, the first player searches encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of the Abduction Protocol side scheme and reveals it. So that card is going to have hinder 2 per player. When defeated, the player who defeated the scheme takes a random set-aside captive ally and puts it into play under their control. Then, Knight of the Sentinels, we've got Project Wide Awake, Zero Tolerance, and the Sentinel set. Captives will be set aside, reveal the Operation Zero Tolerance and Mutants at the Mall side schemes. So, Mutants at the Mall. When defeated, the first player searches encounter deck and discard pile for a Sentinel minion and reveals it. Flip this card and put Jubilee into play. Discard any other version of Jubilee. And Jubilee has a thwart of 1, attack of 1, 3 health, victory of -1. First player controls her. She does not count against your ally limit. And as an action, exhaust her. Spend an energy resource to deal 2 damage to an enemy. And then Operation Zero Tolerance. After an enemy attacks and defeats an ally, place that ally face down under the scheme. There are X face down cards under the scheme. The players lose the game. X is 3 more than the number of players, so that's going to be 5 for us. And from this side, Operation Zero Tolerance gains the permanent condition. And force response, after threat is placed here, there is at least 5 per player threat here. The first player places a top card of their deck face down under Operation Zero Tolerance. Then removes 5 threat per player from this scheme. And I'm using standard 3. So for setup, after you place a pursuit counter here, if the number of counters here is at least 3 more than the number of players, remove each counter. If your Nemesis minion is in play, it activates against you. Otherwise, flip the card over. And after you flip this side, find your Nemesis minion, reveal it. Search the set-aside area for your Nemesis side scheme and reveal it. Then shuffle your remaining set-aside Nemesis set into the encounter deck. Then flip this card over. Alright, finish shuffling up our encounter deck. And then for our heroes, Magneto, 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's see, we've got Forge, a Blast, Power in all of us. Charge, heroic intuition, and clear the area. Not ready to hit just yet. Want to deal with some schemes. if we're using Forge, we're going for something big. So we'll see if we can get some more resource cards. Clear the area, a Genius, and Marrow. Okay, Nightcrawler, 6 cards. Oops, try to keep them facing all the right direction. One, two, three, 4, 5, and 6. Deft Focus, Iceman, Power Protection, Endurance, or Chapel. +1 recovery. After you make Exhaustus Chapel, choose a player to draw a card. I like that. I like his cutlasses. Need more resources for all these good cards. I think we'll keep that. Pitch those two and just see what happens. A Vest and a Bamf. All right. All right, we're going to start over here by flipping over, then bring in Forge. After he enters play, search your deck and discard pile for an X-Men or X-Force support and add it to your hand. Throw it to 1, attack a 1, and 2 health. And the X-Jet. Sure. So bring in the X-Jet. Exhaust it, generate a wild resource for a player whose identity has the X-Men trait. And we'll use that along with a Clear the Area for an electromagnetic blast. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. If this removes the last threat from that scheme, we can discard an attachment with a hero action or hero response. Let's see. We'll take this down to 4. And thwart for 1, thwart for 2. Search our deck for a copy of Bamf and add it to our hand. Oops. And go ahead and flip over. And thwart for 2. So that goes to the victory display. The player defeated the scheme, takes a random set aside captive ally and puts it into play. Got those 4 here. And we get Boom Boom. Let's see, thwart a 1, attack a 1, 3 health. After he attacks an enemy, place a bomb counter on it. At the end of the player phase, remove all bomb counters from play and deal 2 damage to each enemy for each bomb counter removed from it that way. So he's going to attack for 1 to get rid of toughness, and then put a bomb counter up there. Then we're going to play a Bamf on the Sentinel. Attached to an enemy, max 1 per enemy. As a hero, interrupt a defense. When attached enemy attacks, discard this card, declare Nightcrawler as a defender without exhausting him. Then we're going to bring in our Armor Vest, giving us +1 defense, which will take us up to 4. Then we're going to bring in our Cutlasses, counts as 2 restricted cards. Get +1 attack, +1 defense, and gain Retaliate 1. Okay, after the player phase, right? Yep, so ender turn. Keep or Deft Focus, Anticipated Attack, Hard to Ignore, Prehensile Tail, and North Star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got some armor, energy, Clear the Area, Legion, and the power in all of us. All right, this pops off. 2 damage. So 1, 2, 3 threat. Up to 5. Goes to attack over here. We're going to use the BAMF. He's attacking, discard this card. So Nightcrawler's the defender and we're not exhausting him. He's got a defense of 5, base attack of 2, 4, so we're fine. Then attacking over here, we will defend for 5. Let's see, attach this card to the villain, +8 health, hero action, spend 3 energy to discard it. Move some things down. Up to 32. Okay, encounter cards. Toughness, searching counter deck and discard pile for an energy barrier attachment and attach it to this minion. So he gives him +2 attack and a tough status. Well, he's already tough. Only Colossus can be double tough. And quick strike. Targeted for elimination is attached. All right, that's the boost. Well, that's swinging for 2. Oh yes, he got attacked twice. He retaliated twice. But this time he's just going to take the 2 damage, I think. Yep. All right, pass first player. I'm going to bring in our prehensile tail. Somehow that wasn't already attached to our body. Control an additional upgrade. You can control an additional upgrade that has the restricted keyword. We can exhaust the tail to generate a wild resource for an event. Oh yeah, retaliated. I always forget that. I'll put it there, but still won't help remember. Actually, let me take this back. Before I bring that in, let me play smarter. We're going to bring in Deft Focus. Exhaust it, reduce the resource cost of the next superpower card you play this turn by 1. We'll go ahead and use that to bring that in. And then we'll use North Star to bring in Hard to Ignore. After your hero defends against an attack and takes no damage, exhaust this to remove a threat from the main scheme. And then attack for 1 and put a counter on it. Then thwart for 1. Use that for a resource to clear the area, remove 2 threat from a scheme. If this removes the last threat on the scheme, draw a card. Drawing Professor X. And the first player searches encounter deck and discard pile for a Sentinel minion and reveals it. I think we want this one. Garden Patrol. Then flip this over and put Jubilee in play. Thwart 1, attack 1, 3 health. First player controls her. Does not go against our ally limit. It's an action. Exhaust Jubilee and spend an energy resource to deal 2 damage to an enemy. Then we will attack for 2. Bring in our armor. To resolve our magnetic pull ability, if you discarded at least one of the following resources, we'll get some bonuses. So we'll go ahead and do that. So we've got physical, mental, and a wild. So the physical and mental, +1 thwart, +1 attack. Found Asteroid M. Then we're going to bring in Professor X. After he enters play, we can confuse a villain, stun a minion, or ready an X-Men character. We're going to ready. Attack for 3 over here. Actually, no. We're going to attack here with the Garden Patrol. So that the Professor can thwart for 3. Alright, this blows up for 2 damage. That's going to be your turn. Go ahead and keep Legion. Wrapped in metal, multitasking, master magnetism, and our helmet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Scout ahead, riposte, defensive energy, tally-ho, and another riposte. So 2 threat up here. Alright, so Sentinel's going to attack over here. Playing poorly because I didn't go get any vamps, so we're going to defend. And then we're going to riposte twice. So when your hero defends against an attack, it gets +2 defense for the attack. If you take no damage from the attack, deal 3 damage to the attacking enemy. And same thing down here. When you spin this card to play defense event, draw a card. And we'll draw into a genius. Alright, so base 2 attack. Give the villain a tough status card. Okay. Well, we're dealing 3 damage, which will remove the tough, and then 3 damage again. Down to 27. And then this guy's attacking for 2. Which, oh yes, we didn't take any damage. Retaliate. After a hero defends and takes no damage, exhaust this to remove a threat from the main scheme. Okay, so we're just going to take 2 from that one. And attacking Magneto. Good grief, that guy hits for 5. This is going to hurt. Defend. Touch his card, so now he's got retaliate. Speaking of which, we retaliated there. So just 2 damage, we defended that, then we've got 5 coming in, nothing we can do, unless we want to give up Professor X. Down to 5 health. And counter cards. Place a pursuit counter on pursued by the past, then if it has any counters on it, discard an upgrade or support you control. Get rid of that. Choose. Place the top card of your deck face down under Operation 0. The villain in each minion engaged with you attacks you. Well, that'd kill us, so I guess place the top card of our deck underneath there. And pass first player. Professor X goes away. Okay. We're going to make a resource to help bring in our helmet, giving us steady. Exhaust it to generate a wild resource for a magnetic card. Then we'll do that, pitching multitasking for the magnetic card, hero form only, Attached to a non-elite minion. Cannot activate. Treat its printed text box as if it were blank. Then do our abilities. Is there any reason to do that other than to discard cards? Because I feel like I need to flip over. Yep. I forget if there's anything that cost 1. We'll just flip over. To change to this form, shuffle the top 3 cards of your discard pile into your deck. 1, 2, 3. All right. We are going to tack up here just to get rid of it. Spend a resource of any type. For an event. All right, we're going to spend 2 resources of any type. Return a copy of BAMF from your discard pile to your hand. And attach that up there. Then we'll use our tail to scout ahead, remove 3 threat from a scheme, may discard a copy of BAMF from your hand, remove 3 threat from a different scheme. Get rid of that. And end your turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Port and punch, power protection, armor, tally-ho, and anticipated attack. And then we'll keep Legion and get 5 more cards. Endurance, multitasking, triage, angel, and an X-Mansion. Okay, so 2 threat. It's going to scheme. So 3, 4, 5, up to 7. Then attack. We're going to BAMF so we can defend. The base 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and retaliate. So it's doing 4. We're good. Retaliate for 1. That's right. We got rid of the card that did something. Okay, encounter cards. Place a pursuit counter, then the villain schemes. And scheming for 3, 4, 5. So it goes up to 12, then back down to 10. And we lose another card. That's scary. And now we've got a Sentinel Mark 4. Schema 2, attack 2, 4, health, and guard and patrol. And pass first player. All right, we're going to discard a resource to get BAMF back to our hand. And attach that up here. Then we'll use both of these. Play Port and Punch, deal 3 damage to an enemy. Then we deal 3 damage to each enemy with BAMF attached. But of course that is an attack, so we can't go through there, but oh well. So 3 damage there. Then we're going to bring in armor. Play only if your identity has the X-Men trait, which it does, and toughness. Attack for 1, lose the toughness. And thwart for 2. And over here, recover for 3, up to 8. Bring in the X Mansion. It's an alter ego action. Exhaust it and heal the damage from a mutant or X-Men character. Any player whose alter ego has the mutant trait may trigger this ability. We'll do it for herself. And then flip over. Then do our ability. Physical, energy, mental. All right, so we're getting everything. So we're +1 thwart, +1 attack, +1 defense. And I'll put that there to help me remember the +1 defense part. And I'll use that for some endurance. We can give that to any player. We're going to pass that on to Nightcrawler. Then we're going to play Triage. After she enters play, heal 2 damage from an X-Men character. And we'll also give that to Nightcrawler. So 10 out of 12. And attacking for 1. Actually, yeah, we'll attack for 1. Down to 24, and retaliate takes it out. Okay, so that's going to be the turn. Okay, keeping tally-ho. Got an energy, flow like water, defensive energy, anticipated attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Magnetic bubble, master magnetism, utopia, her cape, and multitasking. We get 2 threat. Getting attacked over here. Going to use her tail to help us with an event. And this, when you spin this for a defense event, draw a card. Unflappable. Play only if there's a side scheme in the victory display. We've got this thing. When an enemy initiates an attack, give your hero a tough status card. So the attack's coming in. Let me just make sure he doesn't have piercing. Nope. Just retaliate and +8 health. All right. Exhaust your identity. Bummer. Okay. Either way, we're not taking any damage. Retaliate for 1. Lose the tough. Okay, then attacking here, we're going to use the BAMF to make Nightcrawler the defender. So defending for 5. We're not targeted, so just 2 coming in, we're fine. Retaliate for 1. Then encounter cards. After your turn ends, place this card face down under Operation Zero Tolerance, alter ego action, exhaust your identity to discard this card, which will be a problem. And Abduction Protocols, 7 threat. And I'll change that to the right token. And put 7 up here. And pass first player. We're going to start by bringing our cape into play. So after we resolve our magnetic pull ability, exhaust the cape to ready Magneto. Then we will thwart for 2. Do our ability. We've got physical. All right, so once again, we've hit everything. +1 thwart, +1 attack, +1 defense. There's my reminder. Then we will exhaust that to ready. Then we will thwart for 3. Then use this for a resource for our magnetic card to bring in our magnetic bubble. We gain retaliate. When you would take any amount of damage, place it here. Then if there's at least 6 there, discard it. Then we'll use this for a mental resource to remove 2 threat from a scheme. And then if you paid for this using energy, remove 2 threat from a different scheme. So we can take care of that and go looking for an ally. So we've got Wolfsbane, thwart 1, attack for 2. His attacks gain piercing. So he gets put into play and he'll attack for 2, down to 20. Take 1 plus the retaliate. Then we're going to bring in Flow Like Water. So after you play a defense card, deal a damage to an attacking enemy. Exhaust your identity. Not happening. We're going to discard a card to go get a BAMF. And play that up here. And attack for 1. Down to 19. Ender turn. So that's 3 up there. That's not good. Okay, keeping Utopia, drawing 2. At least we got 1 missile left. I was thinking both those might have been. Get an encounter card for going through our deck and do some shuffling. All right, so 2 more cards come in, Power in All of Us and Legion. We're keeping Unflappable, drawing into a med team, Port and Punch, Polaris, and a teleport drop. 2 threat. And attacking over here for a base 2. You are stunned. If you're already stunned, take 2 damage. But we're steady, so we're only half stunned. I'll just put that there. 2 damage goes on our bubble. We retaliate. He does not have range, so down to 18. Okay, then attacking over here, we'll use our BAMF. So we're defending for 5. 4 damage coming in. Let's see, those aren't doing anything. That gives us retaliate. It's down to 17. Then encounter cards. All right, Schema 1, attack of 3, 5 health. Target for elimination is attached to your identity. He attacks, otherwise search. All right, we just got targeted. Not in there. See, attach your identity. When engaged with a Sentinel, it cannot change from hero to alter ego. As an action, exhaust your identity to discard this. Okay, so that's one. Hey, we're targeted. We can't have two, so surge to relentless robots. Each player engaged with a Sentinel minion cannot thwart this scheme. Comes in with 6. And place a pursuit counter when pursued by the past. Then if it has counters on it, which it will, the villain schemes. So he's a base 3, 4. So 8 out of 10. And pass first player. Okay, we are going to discard this to get a Bamf. And put that on the Sentinel. Then we're going to bring in Unflappable. To defend against an attack and take no damage, exhaust it to draw a card. Then we'll use these for Port and Punch. Deal 3 damage to an enemy. Deal 3 damage to each enemy with Bamf attached. So it's going to be 3 and 3, so down to 11. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's gone. So we'll start with this problem. And Jubilee's going to thwart for 1. Okay, we will use this to create a resource for a magnetic card. Discard a minion with wrapped in metal, deal 5 damage to an enemy and stun it. We're going to send this one into that one. Then we're going to thwart for 1. And then thwart for 2. And do our ability. I think we're ready for that. Yep. Found it. So we're +1 thwart and +1 defense. And we can ready with our cape. And thwart for 3. Use our X-Jet to bring in Legion. Thwart a 1, attack a 1, 3 health. If he does a basic power, we're going to discard the top card of our deck, and depending on what that is, deal 2 damage to an enemy, remove a threat, or healing. So thwarting for 1. And energy is deal 2 damage to an enemy. Down to 9. Wait a second. I'm going to step that back 1 to play smarter. Bring in Utopia first. After an X-Men ally enters play, exhaust this to ready an X-Men character. So I'll bring that into play, then do what I just did. So I can ready Magneto and thwart for 3 more. Or do I feel good enough to get rid of this thing? Let's get rid of... Nah, take that down to 1. Okay. Go ahead and keep wrapped in metal. Get an Angel, Professor X, Marrow, and clear the area. We'll pitch that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we've got a Bamf, Scout Ahead, Dauntless, some armor, and Day Tripper. 2 threat, Attacking over here, we're going to Bamf. So he's doing 3 damage. We've got 5 defense. After you defend against an attack and take no damage, exhaust this and draw a card. Pour it away. Okay, nothing else is triggering. And attacking over here for 2. After this resolves, place a pursuit counter. So we're at 4 out of 5. He did 2 damage. We retaliate. Oh yes, and he retaliated. So went to 8. We retaliate here to 7. And counter cards. Old grievances. Alright, force response. After you use your magnetic pull ability, take a damage for each card discarded. Alter ego action, exhaust Eric to discard this. And then gauntlet beam attached to the villain. His attacks now have range, so our retaliates aren't going to matter. Okay. And pass first player. Alright, we're going to have Legion thwart for 1. Then do his ability, which is energy, which is deal 2 damage to an enemy. Down to 5. Then we'll use the X-Jet to pay for clear for the area. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. Removes the last, draw a card. Now we've got a beak. We're going to exhaust our identity to get rid of targeted for elimination. Then use our ability. Alright, so we've got +1 attack and +1 thwart. And use our cape to ready. Then we'll use this to create a resource. Along with these 2, deal 7 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats that enemy, gain a tough status card. So we're doing 7 damage, which will defeat him. We get tough, he retaliates, we lose tough. But we go to the next level, so he's steady and has toughness. And we're looking for abduction protocols, and then the other player gets a face down and counter card. Let's see. So 6 threat on that. And 36 health. Plus 8. 44 health. So I will thwart for 3. Then bring in Beak. Thwart 1, attack 1, 2 health. After you play him from your hand, remove 1 threat from a scheme for each X-Men ally you control. That's going to be 2. Then use Utopia to ready. Oh yeah, I took 3 damage from doing that earlier. And thwart for 1. Now we get Richter, thwart 1, attack 1. After your attacks, deal damage to the villain and each minion engaged with you. Yep, so he will attack to get rid of toughness, then deal a damage to 43, and retaliated on. Then I will flip over exhaust to discard our old grievances. Put the top 3 cards, 1, 2, 3, shuffle them back in here. And exhaust to heal. Okay, that was his part. Okay, down here we're going to bring in some armor. After you defend against an attack, deal 1 damage to the attacking character, so that is not retaliate. So the ranged won't get around that. Then we're going to bamf. Actually, no, we won't bamf. We're going to use that to help bring in Day Tripper. So after she enters play, search your deck and discard pile for a copy of Bamf. Attach it to an enemy, deal damage to each enemy with a copy of Bamf. Alright, so we go find Bamf, put it over here, deal damage, down to 42. Then she's going to attack, down to 40. Get retaliated on. And don't want to get hit or retaliated on for attacking, even though I am hitting for 2, I guess. We're going to end her turn. Okay, we're going to keep Dauntless, Strength, some downtime, and riposte. Get an encounter card, and shuffle and draw 1 more. North Star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Marrow, Forge, Multitasking, Strength, and Heroic Intuition. Scheming for 3. Oh, well, first we get 2, then schemes for a base 3, 4, 5. Then attacking, we're going to use Bamf to make us a defender. And since we're defending, we use our tail for an event. When we defend, gets +2 attack. If you take no damage, deal 3 back. Let's see, after you play a defense card, deal a damage to the attacking enemy. So 39. After you defend against an attack, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. 38. And we're probably going to draw a card if we take no damage. So he's got 4 versus our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, we take no damage, so we draw a card. And we're doing 3 damage. Down to 35. Okay, encounter cards. Get an acceleration token and shuffle. Wish Magneto would get his cards that lets him thwart and remove attachments. Must be hidden. Okay, start dealing with these. Otherwise, search. Discard pile for Operation Zero Tolerance side scheme and reveal it all. So he gains Surge. Into searching counter deck, discard pile for an energy barrier, and he gains toughness. And then over here, give to Kurt. Exhaust Steam, Well, we may flip to alter ego. Exhaust him to remove this from the game. Yep. Flip over, exhaust to remove this from the game. And play, gain surge. And to, hey, this looks familiar. Find another energy barrier. Okay, and pass first player. Use our action to search our deck for a copy of BAMF. Found one. Use the ability to heal one. Flip over. Discard a card to get a BAMF. We'll bring in Dauntless. While you're here, is remaining hit points are equal to or greater than your starting hit points, gain Retaliate 1. So now we effectively have Retaliate 2. Then we'll overpay for a downtime and put that over on this side of the board to give him +2 recovery. Then we will BAMF there and BAMF up here. Then recover for 3 up to 10. Then we're going to have Richter attack for 1, and then after he attacks, deal damage to the villain and each minion engaged with you. So get rid of toughness. Damage up top. Damage there. Damage there. And he's out. Then attack for 1. And they're out. Then thwart for 1. And remove 2 threat from a scheme. So this goes to 4. And he's out. Flip over. Use our ability. Got a wild, so that's not going to trigger anything for our armor. But our cape will let us ready. Then we're going to bring in Forge. He's an X-Men. After he enters play, search our deck and discard pile for an X-Men X4 support and add it to our hand. Actually, not putting that in just yet. Need to do something with Magneto. Attack for 2. Now we bring Forge in. Use Utopia to ready. Do I have any more supports? I don't know if I do. Nope. All right, I'll spin 2 to bring in Heroic Intuition, giving us +1 thwart. We will thwart for 3. Then attack for 1 to get rid of toughness. Give us a resource to bring in Marrow. Thwart for 1, attack for 2, 2 health. If your units play, deal 2 damage to an enemy. Attack for 2. And I think that's everything. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Angel, clear the area. Power Novelist and Master Magnetism. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Iceman, Power Protection, Repost, Teleport Drop, and a Day Tripper. So we get 3 threat up to 4. Attacking over here. We will Bamf. Whoops. So let's go through our stuff. After you defend, after you play a defense card, after you defend. Okay. We're going to use that for a repost, giving us +2 defense, and if we take no damage, we deal 3 back. So he's a base 4, 5, 6 damage. Our defense is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we take no damage. He's got range, so our retaliate doesn't do anything. But we will be doing 3 from that, so down to 29. Let's see. We took no damage, so we get to draw a card. Tally ho. After you defend against an attack, deal a damage to the attacking character. After you play a defense card, deal a damage to the attacking character. Okay. Then that thing goes to attack us. We Bamf. So it's doing 5 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defense. So we take no damage. Damage, damage, retaliate 2. So he's out. All right, now over here attacking Magneto. Base 4, 5, 6 damage. Put that on here, and our bubble goes away. Then encounter cards. Each Nemesis minion in play activates against you. If no minion's activated this way, place 3 pursuit counters on this. Let's see, if there's at least 3 more, remove each counter here. Okay. So Nightcrawler's getting his stuff. So Quick Strike, cannot have upgrades, 3 health, Schema 2, attack of 3. Do I want to defend from that? Probably. Yep. We'll defend. Well, we'll put everything else out first. Undefeated, the player who defeated this game finds his nemesis and deals him to themselves as a face down encounter card. Comes in with 5 threat on it. And then these get shuffled in. All right, so defending, taking no damage. After you defend against an act, deal a damage. And retaliate 2. And over here, place a pursuit counter on pursued by the past. Then if it has any counters, the villain attacks you. And we'll take it. So 4 attached. We aren't targeted, so we're down to 6. And pass first player. Oh, if he's got 2 damage on him, he's going. All right, thwarting for 3. Yeah, we'll go over here. Down to 2. Then do our ability. So that's giving us +1 defense. Yes. And use the cape to ready. Found one of our electromagnetic blasts. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. If this removes the last threat from that scheme, you may discard an attachment with hero action or hero response. But we're going to use the helmet and to clear the area to pay for it. Get rid of the piercing and ranged. We just find him. He's in the discard pile. He comes out and wants to hit us for 3. And we'll defend. And I was thinking I had retaliate somewhere. Oh, we lost it already. Oh well, we defended. Now we're going to bring in Angel. He's costs 1 less since we're an X-Men. And exhaust Utopia to ready. Discard an energy resource to have her deal 2 damage. And then Angel will finish him off. Then we're going to thwart for 3 and use our X-Jet. There's really no purpose in drawing a card, but remove some threat, drawing into some metal shards. Then we'll bring in the Day Tripper. Search our deck and discard pile for a BAMF, attach it to an enemy, deal damage to each enemy that has BAMF attached. Put that up on the Sentinel. Put a damage on him, then attack him for 2. Gets retaliated on. And ender turn. Okay, we're going to keep Tally-Ho. Got armor, poured away, anticipated attack, and some energy. We'll keep the shards. Downtime, a blast. Get in a counter card and shuffle. And then 2 more cards. Master Magnetism and Wrapped in Metal. Okay. So the Sentinel's attacking here. We're going to use BAMF to make him the defender and use our tail to pay for Tally-Ho, which is a defensive superpower. After BAMF makes Nightcrawler the defender of an attack, return that copy of BAMF to your hand. Deal 3 damage to the attacking enemy. So down to 21. Alright, so we've got a defense of 5. After you play a defense card, deal a damage to the attacking enemy. Doesn't get exhausted, but kind of just want to remember I did it. Alright, so he's got 3 coming at us, 4, 5. We defended that in full. So after you defend an attack and take no damage, exhaust this to draw a card. Then after you defend against an attack, deal damage to the attacking player. And then that one we already did. And then we have retaliate 2 down to 17. Then he initiates an attack on us. We're going to defend. When the enemy initiates an attack, give your hero a tough status card. Well, no, we'll just go ahead and defend. So base 3, 4, and exhaust your identity. We're already exhausted, so that worked out well. After you defend against attack, deal damage to the attacking character. We didn't play defense. Retaliate 2, down to 14. All right, counter cards. Otherwise, searching counter deck. All right, we're being targeted again. And a place, and then he's going to scheme. Oh yeah, so we got 3 to start with. Get a counter, and he schemes for 3, 4, so he's up to 7. Relentless Robot. Each player engaged with a Sentinel minion cannot thwart this. So 6, and change first player. All right, we're going to play Port Away. It's an action. Discard a copy of BAMF from your hand. Change forms and ready your identity. So that does not count against our 1 free change form. Then search your deck for a copy of BAMF. Are they all in here? 1, 2, yep. Search your deck. Oh, yep. So we'll go ahead and flip over. 8 health. We'll discard 3 energy cards to get rid of this, which will take him down to 6 health. Then we will attack for 2, down to 4. Get retaliated on for 1. And Magneto will finish this off with some metal shards. Deal 7 damage to an enemy. And that's going to be enough to take down the Sentinel. So that definitely took a while to get going. And I'm sure I made some mistakes with all the cards on the table. But as always, hope you enjoyed this playthrough. So please click on the like button below. And be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.